judge who okayed that Kansas paper raid. We want to tell you more about this judge. She has a history of DUIs. Did that affect her decision in this very controversial case? Judge Laura Viar, the Kansas magistrate judge who authorized the police raid of the Marion County Record newsroom over its probe into a local restaurateur's drunk driving record, has her own hidden past, we've learned, of DUIs. Wichita Eagle investigation found that prior to her appointment, Viar was arrested at least twice for DUI in 2 different Kansas counties in 2012, while she was the lead prosecutor for Morris County. Second arrest came amid an unopposed reelection bid for county attorney. Viar's DUI history could face scrutiny given the approved warrant came in response to the Marion County Record digging into restaurant owner Carrie Newell's past drunk driving. The Viar authorized raid came after Newell complained about the investigation that was never even published. Sensitive much? Newell was seeking a liquor license for her restaurant. Was upset too that reporters used a public state database to confirm she lost her driver's license over a DUI. Marion County Chief Gideon Cody, who was also under investigation by the Marion County Record over sexual misconduct claims at the time, seized reporters' computers, cell phones, and other documents. Cody sought the search warrant to find evidence of computer crimes and identity theft after the complaint by Newell. Joan Meyer, age 98 and co-owner of the Record and mother of its editor, died the day after the raid, which included a search of her home and seizure of some of her belongings. In an interview before her death, she called the raid, quote, Hitler tactics. Viar's drunk driving history now. It's unclear whether a judicial nominating commission that selected Viar for the magistrate position knew about her arrest and diversion. Members of the commission did not return calls from Eagle and Kansas City Star reporters. She would have been required to disclose both arrests in her application. Wichita Eagle with the reporting details there. Now, the first arrest in Coffee County, January 25th, 2012, has not been reported. She was not supposed to be driving because her driver's license was suspended. She reportedly drove off road, crashed into a school building while driving. Then 8th District Magistrate Judge Thomas Ball's vehicle. Let's just put some punctuation there. Driving without a license, crashed into a school. That's what I just read. And a judge, magistrate's vehicle. Okay, there's more. In Coffee County, Viar was charged and entered diversion agreement, which was extended 6 months because she refused to get an alcohol and drug evaluation and stopped communicating with her lawyer. She was never sanctioned by the state's attorney discipline board and won re-election multiple times as a Republican candidate for Morris County attorney. Wow. Second arrest in Morris County, August 6th, 2012, likely would have been a violation of her diversion agreement. The court records indicate prosecutors in Coffee County didn't know about the Morris County case, and the earlier Coffee County DUI was not disclosed to the public in Morris County, where she was standing for re-election. Details of the warrant and its fallout. Well, the warrant Viar approved allowed Cody and his officers to forensically examine for evidentiary purposes all of the data, images, documents, and electronic communications in the seized devices, which included one reporter's personal cell phone. Also included documents and records pertaining to Carrie Newell, the warrant said. Warrant also authorized Marion police to search all of Marion County Record and its journalists' digital communications devices, digital storage media that wasn't used to look into Newell, to exclude from seizure those which have not been involved in the identity theft. Record has indicated it plans to bring a federal lawsuit against the authorities involved in the search and seizure of the Record's news gathering materials, which could be used to identify anonymous sources and the information they provided. Viar's decision to approve a search warrant of the Marion County Record on August 11th has come under intense scrutiny for First Amendment reasons. Advocates across the US, many calling the move unconstitutional, illegal as well. Kansas Bureau of Investigation took over the investigation on Monday and is in the process of reviewing prior steps taken and determine how best to proceed with the case. Marion County Attorney Joel Enzi said Wednesday that the warrant was ordered with insufficient evidence to establish a connection between the material seized and the alleged crime. Marion County prosecutor withdrew the search warrant. Ben, I don't know what's going on in this small town, but that's a lot. And it sounds like a crime was probably committed, okay, by those who were involved in this. This is nutty. And I was thinking as I was going through all the details that, well, this is so horrible for journalism everywhere. It's gonna go all the way to the Supreme Court if it has to. And then I remembered, isn't that where Clarence Thomas works? If he were deciding this thing with all of the investigative journalism he's been subjected to lately, I'm not so sure he would uphold journalistic principles and ethics. What do you say?
This is a strong point. He would hear, wait a minute, somebody issued a warrant to make sure that somebody got retribution for a thing similar to what happened to me personally. I think it's just fine. I mean, he probably will invite her on the next fishing trip. Who knows exactly? But this is no surprise. Small town Kansas judge is issuing vindictive warrant for exactly what she went through. It's amazing to me how bad these people are even at covering their tracks. How about if you don't want people to learn about your past DUI convictions, maybe you don't transparently issue an insane, far-reaching, overreaching warrant for the exact same case. Might be a good way to keep people off of your trail by chance, but you might not know, Sharon, Kansas law, very loose with who it allows to be magistrate judges. There are only 3 requirements. One of them, they have to live in the county. 2, they have to have a high school diploma only. And 3, be either practicing law or be able to pass a test within 18 months. I guess after you are the judge, and they're like, wait a minute, your decisions that are already affecting lives seem pretty ill-informed. Do you mind taking a test and letting us know if indeed you know things about judging or not? Know anything about the law?
Wow. You know, the details that you just imparted there, I almost want to, if I had a beer in honor of this judge, I'd say mazel, okay? This is incredible. Anyone can do it. Anyone can be part of this thing. And oh yeah, it's our personal thing. And if you offend us, we'll just take you out. The co-owner of the paper, 98-year-old who we said passed away, her son says she died. She was 98 years old, we got it, but she was in good health. This killed her. I mean, she did die the next day. What do you think the fallout should be here?
Yeah, I mean, she gave an interview, it seems, the next day or the day of, and then died the next day. It does seem as though it killed her, although 98 is a pretty good length. But to have all of a sudden your life's work destroyed by unconstitutional Gestapo-esque means, I think the punishment needs to be a complete repudiation, a disbarring of this not even barred judge, it seems like, and try to prove that you do not do anything that is removed from the letter of the law and how it should go. I mean, it was so overreaching. Part of the warrant said that they were able to seize the electronic devices of other staff to prove that they should not have their devices seized.
That's how the law
works. We're gonna take your devices just to exclude you from the investigation. Well, that's called including you in the investigation, which is the exact opposite if words still matter in this world, which they don't.
Wow. Well said. Hypocrisy is a word that comes to mind when, listen, a lot of people have drinking problems. We don't want them driving, but a lot of people have gone through this. It's wrong and it endangers lives, but it is a sickness. And I don't know if she's an alcoholic or she just says, I'm gonna put a few back and nobody's gonna tell me what to do. But the hypocrisy here, I don't wanna be reported on, but I'm gonna sit in judgment of you. Do you believe that people have enough respect for the reasons journalism became an institution? There was a need for it in the first place, because I'm not sure people get it, how dangerous this is.
I think that they did much more before one of the million things in our country that Donald Trump broke.
Yeah.
I mean, he's truly there's definitely people that have gone after the press before, but never someone this blatantly and publicly and obviously, which is what seeps into the brains of those who have not much of them to go around, to be pointing out directly, literally like point like you're in class, back there, the enemy of the people, the enemy of the state, get them. And then you wonder why all of a sudden the press is seen negatively instead of as a vital fourth estate to hold in check and balance our often corrupt government. It's very obvious, and I just am so happy that there are so many indictments that have come down on Trump now, but we don't have a country if him and all of his co-conspirators are not punished to the highest degree of the law, and every single person that overreaches against a media organization, against the institutions of our government, against our democracy, if they're not punished so severely that it scares future generations from doing anything like this, our country's done.
I agree with you, and you mentioned the pointing and even the naming of certain journalists and targeting. I remember when 44, President Obama froze Fox News out for a stretch, and he was criticized for it. I think we understand what he was seeking. He was seeking more accurate, more truthful reporting. But I guess the flip side is, how much is the media responsible for this? And not just Fox and how much was that judgment? Where's Tucker? Not just Fox though, because you have other cable entities and the like who are just bleeding so heavily into the commentary and less into the facts. Fox is responsible too, but how much is journalism as a whole? Because one of the details that hasn't been reported that much with this story is that the editor, who I believe is the co-owner, notified police. They weren't even gonna run this story, but notified police and said, something's fishy with this, so I just wanna, it seems like very cozy. I don't work for the police, I'm a journalist. And I don't know why you'd be calling them and alerting them to a story you weren't even gonna run.
Interesting, yeah.
It's just
interesting. I don't know, I mean.
I just dropped that bomb, yeah.
You dropped the bomb. I think it's interesting. I don't think that is too much of a problem if it's giving tips of crimes. I don't know if that's as much of a problem as corruption that goes deeper, but because that at least has transparency to it. But if they're doing it to curry favor, obviously with that police department, then it's a different story.
Well, they don't want to have my phone, okay? You don't want to take this, okay? But I got a lot of secrets on there.